Hi, my name is Dr. Alice Davis, and I'm the Susquehanna County Career and Technology Center Executive Director and School Counselor. And today I'd like to talk to you about what we did to help our school for school improvement on the non-traditional students. So let me tell you a little bit about our school. We're rural. We have 7 schools that attend the Career Center. We have 5 from Susquehanna County, and we have 2 from Wyoming County. We do not have any large industry in our county, so we are really what you would call super rural. Also, we have adults that attend our Career Center. So currently, we have probably around 400 to 500 students. Normally, it's around 500 to 550. And one of the things with non-traditional, when we became in school improvement, it was something like, what do we need to do with non-traditional? We thought we were doing everything we needed to do. So what we did is we analyzed what we're currently doing. So one of the most important things as an administrator, I think we need to hire the right people. And so when I hire individuals, I hire them. And when they say, Dr. Davis, I'd like to work for you, I will say, this is what you need in the area. First, you have to have a good attitude. You have to be flexible. You have to be a team player. You have to believe you can educate all students, special ed, gifted, and everybody in between.
Good morning.
And then the last thing is your content area. And that is important too. One of the things when I talk to my teachers is you have to treat our students like they were your own children. So how would you want them to be treated in a traditional or non-traditional role? We were on the improvement list, and because we were underrepresented and not getting enough students into our programs. So we admit that it was a struggle to try to make it happen. So what we decided, it had to be a whole group initiative and a buy-in. We needed to align our mission and vision and share it with all the stakeholders. And the stakeholders is our students, our staff, which means our teachers and paraeducators, the cafeteria workers, the bus drivers, business and industry, our sending school district, and our occupational advisory committee. We looked at the audiences that we have to work with. So what we did was we started with, let's have an in-service and let's start talking about what we don't know, what we need to do. Because sometimes I'll say to the staff, we know what the issue we have to work on, but we don't know what we don't know yet. So with that being said, we were able to bring Claudia in from PDE to help us look at our school as a whole and decide what our strengths and what our weaknesses are. And so what we decided to do first is start with a survey. Let's get data to find out where we're really at. So we surveyed our staff and our students. And the next thing we found out is that we needed to make sure the audience we're working for is our students. And so we developed an ambassador program so that our students are the ones that are going to help us market the programs, get the traditional and non-traditional students in the program. So what we did next is we had an in-service and we had a healthy conversation as to what does it mean, and that we're not the only school that's having this issue. So don't feel like we're not doing everything we can, but we could always improve. So what we said is, this is a concern we have. I want you to brainstorm and think about what you think our school needs to do to improve in non-traditional. And a lot of good conversation came out of that. For an example, the languages we use in the classroom, instead of saying, hey, you guys, there are ladies in there, we need to be mindful of that. Looking at your pictures on the wall and your signage, is that conducive to non-traditional students being in there? And then we asked the staff to think about it and give us feedback of what they noticed that maybe we could improve on. The other thing I said to the staff is that you can go to any conference you want to or visit any other schools to help us improve on what we're trying to accomplish here. Then the next, we looked at our Occupational Advisory Committee and business and industry. And we said, again, the signage you have in your automotive shop needs to be conducive, again, for non-traditional students. But the other big question we asked them too is that if a female came in to ask for a job at your company, would you hire them? There's nothing worse than training someone and not feeling like the people that are hiring would hire non-traditional students. So we felt that that was important, and we wanted to have a conversation. So at our OAC meeting, we addressed that, and we said that this is important. You want the students, you want the females, the males, and the non-traditional roles, but you have to help us with this too. And then next we looked at the sending school districts, and we encouraged them to send all students to come in and to see all of our programs. Sometimes we like to stereotype individuals and think, well, this would be best for you because of whatever your interest, but maybe that's not their true interest. So we encourage the sending districts to let all students take a tour, find out what we're about, and then go from there. We also talked about, the tools that students could get for free through the earned income tax credit, the certification, the clothing. So there really wouldn't be a financial barrier, why they couldn't go into any of our programs. The other thing we did with the sending districts is we have a dinner, and it'll be coming up in the springtime for all 7 school districts. Every board member and his spouse is invited to the Career Center. And we want them to have a meal. And then we have a PowerPoint playing while we're eating about our program and students in non-traditional roles. Then we give them a tour of our facility. And then we do a presentation and come back. And then they get dessert. So I tell them there's no such thing as a free meal. But again, just wanted to show them we just don't want to be a line item for your budget, but to show you the impact and the equipment and things we have in our program. So that has worked out very well too, because they talk to people too. And so letting them know about, there are a lot of, female truck drivers, female automotive, men in nursing. The next audience we looked at was parents. I think sometimes it is easy to say that, we want our students to go in the traditional roles, but when we have new student orientation, we do encourage the non-traditional roles and the job opportunities that are out there. I think one of the things we need to do for our students is find out what their interest and aptitude are and let them decide what their future will be, because there's nothing worse than doing something for 40 years that you don't like. So it could be a non-traditional role. So I think that's important we get that across. The next, we had a meeting with our cafeteria workers, our bus drivers, and our custodians to let them know they're very important in this process and that their conversations they have with people are very important too. So again, we looked at all of our signage and said, let's make sure that we have, non-traditional pictures up for all of our programs. And then the next thing we did was our students. And of course, they are truly the audience we work for. And so we developed an ambassador program where students that are new wanting to look at the program, a student from the ambassador would take them around and show them the program. We actually have their pictures on both buildings so that people can see who our ambassadors are that you can go to and talk to. We had them do tours. We had them go with us to do presentations at sending districts so that they can say, yes, I'm male in the nursing program and love it, and that the opportunities out there for me are great. So again, to recap what's important, we have to empower our staff that this is an ongoing thing that we need to continue to work on. But as administration, we have to provide safety nets to make sure they understand that we're all in this together. There's not one that's better than the other. There's not one program that needs more work than the other. We're all in this together. So through our in-services, we have to work on the do's and don'ts of non-traditional students coming to the program. So with that being said, in conclusion, this will always be an ongoing process, trying to get traditional students and non-traditional students in our program. But people have choices. And so with knowing that this will always be, people are changing, roles will change, teachers will change, we need to be encouraging and always sharing the idea of the non-traditionals. We need to make sure this is ingrained and embedded in an ongoing venture, that this is something we all have to believe in, we have to work at, and then we have to showcase like how much money they're making in their non-traditional roles too. So I think that that's a marketing strategy that we all have to work on. But when I look at this, this is something that all of us need to work on together. It's not one and done. It's over with. And then the staff are very competitive. So they like to share, what have we done? Or what's an idea, suggestion we have to make this better and to keep improving on it. So again, we're thankful we're not on the improvement list, but we know that it's not done. We need to keep working at it. Thank you.